Hey everybody, Brian again. Thank you once again for coming back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'm just going to give you my thoughts about that. Let's go.
Well, that's intense.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, written and directed this time by James Gunn. I'm not going to go through all the spoilers. I'm not going to go through all this. I'm not even going to really break down the story. I'm just giving you my thoughts on the film. Starring Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, Zoe Saldana once again as Gamora, Dave Bautista as Drax, with the voices of Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel as Rocket Raccoon and Baby Groot. I really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I laughed probably more in this movie than I have out of any of the films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the first film included. This one had a hell of a lot more comedy going for it, especially with the new character Mantis, who comes in, and just basically the overall script I just felt had a lot more funny bits sort of happening. Also starring in this film we have Michael Rooker. And one of my favorites, Sylvester Stallone, shows up in a cameo. So it was really nice to see him and Michael Rooker on the same screen again. I don't think they've done a film since Cliffhanger, going back to the 80s or 90s, all right? So, yeah, it was really cool. And Stallone's character was, it was a really nice twist. It was a very beautiful twist that they brought to this. I believe that James Gunn used new cameras this time to shoot with. So the film actually, even though a lot of it is green screen and CGI, and you know they would have done it in a large sort of like studio or in Atlanta or wherever else they went, Pinewood, I don't know, wherever they shot this film and they did it in, it looked and felt that it was one of the most amazing, beautiful looking films I had ever seen. It's pretty spectacular. The visuals in this, the sound effects really good. The song choices once again are very good. I think on the plus sides, I did, like I said, I laughed a lot. I did enjoy a lot of the action sequences. The downside I felt, and this is just it's a small criticism. I just felt that perhaps James Gunn needs probably someone else to sort of help with the script writing, because there was either too much comedy or when it came to it, a bit too heavy with the pathos. So there are moments, it was a bit inconsistent. The first film sort of had all those moments, but it didn't sort of dwell on them. It just could have, you had a joke and we moved on, or we had something happen that was very serious and we'd move on from it. This film stays in those beats for a lot longer. So the comedic parts, while they're very good, do seem to go on a bit longer. There's a lot more jokes per second or jokes per minute than there was in the first film. And when something really dramatic or something happens, we get a really good look at it. This is to say that the film isn't bad. This is just to say that I thought that the first film probably was a bit sharper. It was a bit better. This one sort of, it doesn't outstay its welcome, but I felt it did run a little bit long. I found there were no weak characters in the plot, although, you know, Kurt Russell's ego, I'm sure, will probably be up for a fair bit of scrutiny. What did you guys think? I found, when I heard that he was playing Ego, I went, okay. I was like, that's very bizarre, but it turned out sort of what I expected, and it was actually very good in the end when you sort of step back and move away from it. I thought that the sort of twists and turns that sort of came with it were kind of well telegraphed. So when they actually do impact, it didn't really resonate as much. But that's not to say they weren't good. It's just that it wasn't as powerful as if it was maybe had been a bit more shocking or a bit more sudden. So that's what I meant by if James Gunn probably works with someone else next time, and I know he's probably going to write and direct Volume 3, that maybe he has someone else sort of sit with him and co-write it, because it just needed just a couple little trimming bits there. That's just my little nitpicky stuff. I thought the costumes, the actual aesthetics of the film, once again, I mean, this guy has gone from making a very He made a really good film with Michael Rooker years ago called Slither. I don't know if you saw that. And that film was brilliant. So I've always sort of really liked this guy's visual style. And I find it to be a really refreshing and interesting character. He's a geek just like everybody else. He loved comics. He loved these sort of characters. And the love that he has for the characters and the universe and everything is just there. You can feel it. It's seeping out. His love for what he's doing is really there. But I think when it comes to passion projects and just like, for example, being my YouTube channel, sometimes you just need somebody to give you a little bit of a hand and a little bit of a guide. So that's just my take on it. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I'm looking at an 8.5 out of 10. Once again, not to say that I thought it was terrible or it was bad or some of these other things brought it down. It just, the original Guardians of the Galaxy for me was a 9 out of 10. This is an 8.5. This is a sequel that was very, very worthy and very, very good. Thank you very much. If you did like the review, hit me up on the comments below. If you like the channel so far, go back and check out some of my other reviews. Cheers. Thanks a lot. This has been another FBB.